There we go. It's on. You're live.
Am I on now? Okay. Let's see. I said welcome. I said that we're in Orange Beach. I said Matt was crawling underneath me. I said that he's trying to turn on the lights and they're not working. And I told him that I turned them on or turned them off earlier and maybe I screwed something up. And I welcomed everybody, and that's all you really missed. If you could read lips, you probably got that anyway. It's going to be a good show today. All right, I'm going to tell you a story about a game warden, and also going to show you some new stuff that we've got. Okay, this is. I think you're going to get a kick out of this because I feel like a real merchant now. I like a real tourist merchant. Okay. Hey, Amy. Hey, Jeff. Hey, everybody. How are y'all doing? Betty, how are you? You're working from home? Yep. It's good, isn't it? Yeah. Nancy, how are you? I'm so glad you like the blue plate. I have a good time with this. Let me just say to Bonnie Nix, happy birthday. I thought of Bonnie Nix earlier, probably 10 minutes ago, because when I poured my coffee, I poured it in the coffee cup that she gave Adam, okay? So it says I'm fluent in sharkism. Well, let's see. First, you guys, if you're on Facebook, welcome aboard. If you're new, click that notification button. Turn on the notifications on your phone. And when we go live on the air, you will be notified. Welcome to you on YouTube. If you're on YouTube, or if you go to YouTube, or if you ever used YouTube, please go to YouTube and click the subscribe button. They're on every one of our videos, and so just click that thing, and then it will put you a little menu over there on the side when you go in the future. But that subscription button helps us a lot on YouTube. A little what do you call it? A little update. Hey to the Twitter people, hey to the Instagram people. Brian Backen, you here today? Little update. Do you remember the phone call I got from the lady that was giving me $550,000 and what kind of car? A Land Rover. I was getting $550,000 and a Land Rover. Do you remember that? In any case, when we get through with these, Matt takes like a couple of pieces from the blue plates and then posts them again, so somebody doesn't have to watch through all my stupidity. And anyway, we posted that again, and the last we look, it had like just on Facebook, it had like 1 point something million views. So, isn't it amazing? I planned stuff and then do something stupid that wasn't even planned, and there you go. So, but I'm glad everybody enjoyed that. So my shirt has nothing on the front because we're trying to honor whatever new tradition this is, where people make stuff on the back. I still think everything should be on the front, but this is the long sleeve Wisdom Harbor. And you see it has the Wisdom Harbor logo on the back, but it also has the thing on the sleeve. I feel kind of like the Vanna White. And there's little birds right there. See little birds? And so that's the long sleeve Wisdom Harbor shirt. We also have, just so you know, many colors. This color is chambray. See, I didn't know that. I grew up thinking this was called light blue. In my Crayola 68 pack, this was light blue. I never heard of chambray. And here's the short sleeve, and we've got them in a bunch of different colors. The short sleeve Wisdom Harbor. These are Comfort Color brand shirts. And so this has the pocket. And also, you guys on Facebook, would you please share? if you don't mind sharing, I'm telling a cool story about a game warden just in a few minutes. So if you would go ahead and share to your page, I would really appreciate it. So there's the Wisdom Harbor short sleeve, and they're in several different colors, and then they have the pocket on the front, but they don't have anything down the sleeve because, as you see, there's not one. It's just like a regular old short sleeve. And this color, but this is chambray. This color is, can you guess? Can you guess? Periwinkle. Another color that wasn't in the big Crayola box. All right. And of course, you know, we also have the holiday themed. Now we have these in short sleeve and long sleeve, but the holiday Wisdom Harbor. And look at this. Matt did this. I just love this. So, you know, the logo, and there's the reindeer, and the O is a Christmas ball. It's just excellent. Vivi Hecker, thank you for subscribing. I appreciate that very much. And so, before I tell you the game warden story, I want to show you one more thing. But I also want to tell you, I was laughing this morning because there is a guy that I read his stuff. We're going to have him on sometime. His name is Sean Dietrich. And if you've seen the Alpha commercials, if you live in Alabama, you would have seen Sean. He's the kind of red-haired guy that's doing those Alpha commercials with the cowboy hat. But Sean is a great writer. And around here, we call him Sean of the South. And so he wrote this article today about people being mean now, you know, because of the pandemic, that people are mean. And I guess that's kind of, I don't know, people are tending to be kind of mean, aren't they, Matt?
Yeah, they are.
I said they're mean. Anyway, but it was funny because Sean said, and Sean is like, he's this nice, gentle guy, you know, and he said that somebody had written him and in an email called him a layer and a deceiver. Lair and a deceiver. A layer and a deceiver. And I know, I've read Sean's books, I've read his articles, and he is no layer. He is not. Okay? Hello, Heather Olson from Utah. Shirley Greenfield Cole says, we love Sean. Yep, me too. Me too. We're going to have him. He and Jamie are going to come in someday, and we're going to do a blue plate, and we're going to record a podcast the same day to play later. And so let me show you. So, you know, on the website, on andyandrews.com, I'm telling you this before I tell you the story, the game warden story. On the website, you know that they have it's like free shipping at $50, right?
That's right.
And I've seen sites that had free shipping at $50, and you get to like 48, and you have to buy something that's like $30 to get over the $50, and so that always drives me nuts. So we said we need to have some little stuff, some little stuff that people can, just get over to get the free shipping, and I think some of you have probably already seen the Ollie Sutherland prank pack for kids. That's what an incredible item. It's probably my favorite item, especially the plastic roaches in there. Do you hear somebody walking around upstairs?
There might be someone up there.
I thought we're on the second floor. Who would be up on the rooftop? I just heard it click, click, click. Somebody's walking up there. So anyway, we wanted to get several things. One of the things we've got the coaster, the round to it. Now, you know what that is, right? People say, we say, have you done so? Well, I just haven't. Oh, when are you going to do it? Well, I'll do it, I'm going to do it when I get around to it. Okay, well, now you got one. You have around to it. No more excuses. So we got that. What else? What else we have? Little stuff. We've got the 7 Decisions mouse pad. In Japan, that would be 6 decisions. I mean, they don't have them there. But do you know that the Traveler's Gift in Japanese has 6 decisions? Did you know that? I'm not kidding. Because they did not want Truman in there. Okay, so let me show you the other little things. And I feel like a real merchant now. I feel like a merchant because I have my own little card carousel. How about that? We have it like out in the general store out there, a card carousel. So I wanted to show you because you can get packages of 5. You know, you can get them each, but you can get packages of 5, and they're just like $2.99 each. But anyway, let me show you. I took the pictures for these. I took all these pictures, and so some of them are just like blank inside, so that people can just like write a letter or something, and some of them are have something in them. Okay, this is a blank one. And I insisted on this. This is a close-up of largemouth bass. What do you think? Right? And so, as you can see, they actually come in these nice packages with the envelope in it. And so, largemouth bass. And see, it's just empty there. This is also an empty one, but a very curious one. Okay. This one's blank on the inside, but on the back, there is a verse that says, "The land will be full with berries," from Isaiah 7:24. But I took that in our yard. How about that? Well, let's see. What do I want next? Oh, let me show you this one. Okay. I took that up in the swamp at Hal's Lake. And inside, so this is obviously a bluebird and all the gray around him in the winter. And it says, inside, "Be patient, stay strong, no matter how long the winter, spring is sure to follow." So there's this one, and then I had to have a funny one. I just had to. I took this down from our house of this pelican, and Linda Berg says, "Does it say largemouth bass on the back of the card?" Yes, it actually does. It has a little thing here that says, "Largemouth bass, photographed by Andy Andrews," and then wisdomharbor.com. See, right there? All right. So there's the pelican. And on the inside, it says, "I try not to laugh at my own jokes, but we all know I'm hilarious." So that's a great one for some funny people in your life. I love this one. I happened upon this one day up in Clark County, and it just caught my eye. And I stopped. I got my camera. This is a huge field of white clover, and there was one red clover right in the middle of it. And the card says, "You're 1 in a million. Grow where you are planted." So there's that. Let's see, what else we got here? Oh, here, this is blank on the inside, as you can see, but this is a close-up of red snapper. For you saltwater fishermen, here's also another saltwater fish, a very pretty one, and I know that you've probably eaten mahi-mahi in a restaurant, and that is a close-up of mahi, or mahi-mahi, the fish so nice they named him twice. So, and that one's blank inside. Let's see what else I got here. I really like this one, okay? Okay, this is titled Acorn from the Peacemaker Oak, right here. And on the inside, it says, when you are discouraged, when you're feeling sad and blue, remember that the mighty oak was once a nut like you. From the book Just Jones. And you remember that's the poem that Jones wrote for Ollie Sutherland. And so there's that card. Let's see, moving right along. Oh, I think you'll like this. I got lucky on this. When I took this picture, I was on our back porch, and I just got lucky. I'll just tell you, because I got lucky. Look at that. And man, it's real detailed. That's an osprey. And inside the card it says, when a storm comes, most seek shelter, some learn to fly above it. Jones. Okay. Let's see. This one's very interesting. Take a good look. This is titled Focus. But on the inside, it says, when other people quit saying it can't be done, believe there is an answer and you're sure to find one. So it's actually Austin on that. I took that a couple of years ago. There were mangrove snapper around that dock, and they were saying, we can't get to them. We can't get to them. We can't, you can't get a boat over there. We can't get to them. And I said, well, you want to catch them, you'll find a way. All right, so two more. Let's do that one last. Okay, here is a monarch up close. And inside, this one says, if a butterfly can flap its wings and begin a chain reaction of air molecules affecting the weather on the other side of the planet, what might you accomplish? Everything you do matters. All right, one more. And this is Sunrise in Orange Beach. Okay, and on the inside, it says, a sunrise proclaims the future, not the past. It brings assurance, not uncertainty. A sunrise is the onset, not the outcome. The potential, never the limit. And while sunsets are for everyone, from this moment forward, all sunrises belong to you. So, I hope you get a kick out of these cards. I'm getting a kick out of them. So, and there goes the thing. And so, I've got a story to tell you today. James Moore, you like them? Thanks very much. I appreciate that. This story is in the book Sawyerton Springs, okay? I'm just going to tell you. But it's in the book Sawyerton Springs, and I guess that Sawyerton Springs is like it's on sale, right? Is it?
It's not on sale, but it is if you have the promo code.
Oh, that's right, if you have the promo code. And remember, only the people who sign up for the VIP mailing list at andyandrews.com, just sign up for it. That's where the Friday promo codes are going to go. Occasionally we'll give you a promo code on Blue Plate, but that's where you're going to get them is by email on the Fridays. Okay, but the Sawyerton Springs promo code is TALES20, TALES20, one word. And andyandrews.com/VIP, and you can get to the sign up thing, okay? But I want to tell you this story. This is in this book, and there's 27 short stories in this book that are from this town, and they're in kind of different, I guess, different times of the year. Most of them are set when I was a kid. Some of them are set about what's going on there now in my hometown of Sargent Springs. And this one, I've always liked this one, all right? And so we call it Ducking the Game Warden. Here. Are you ready, my friend? All right, here we are. Ducking the Game Warden. The temperature was hovering around 27 degrees, which is cold for the Springs area, but not cold enough to keep Kevin Perkins indoors. For most of his life, he's hunted mallards, pintails, and woodies on the backwaters of Bowman's Pond, and as far as he was concerned, this was the most important time of the year. It was the week before Christmas, the last gasp of duck season. Kevin was on his way to the Last Resort, a cabin deep in the woods that his father had built when Kevin was a boy. As he nudged his Jeep across a pine tree that had fallen in the dirt road, Kevin smiled. He would soon be meeting the whole gang. Every year they spent this week together in the woods. And seeing as how this was the week before Christmas, their wives always had a collective fit. Glenda had really given it to him before they left. It was the same thing she said every year. I can't believe you're leaving. Here it is, the busiest week of the year. Do you realize how much has to be done before everyone shows up on Christmas Eve? Do you not have any consideration for me at all? Kevin frowned. He did hate to leave Glenda, at this time of year especially, but he simply had no choice. He was only doing what his father had done year after year. It was a tradition, and he was not about to break it. Rounding the last curve in the muddy road, Kevin saw smoke coming from the chimney, then the cabin itself. It was only 3 rooms, and what with the green paint flaking, it looked abandoned. But to Kevin, Bubba, Jeff, Billy Pat, and Dick Rollins, it was a paradise. The guys piled out the front and only door as Kevin parked. "How about you, old man?" Bubba said as he grabbed Kevin's duffel from the back seat. Kevin was old man to his friends, not because of his age. He wasn't that old. It was what they had been calling him since the 10th grade when he began losing his hair. Dick and Jeff ran around to the other side of the Jeep. "We'll get your gun," Jeff said. "You guys leave my gun alone," Kevin shouted as he reached in and pulled the 12-gauge through his door. Several years before, on opening day, Dick and Jeff had removed the firing pins from Kevin's shotguns. The guns would not shoot, so Kevin was the designated caller for his buddies all day long. Kevin was a good sport about it, but he had not forgotten. "Where's Billy Pat?" Kevin asked. "Oh, he's a weenie," Jeff said, laughing. "Jenny told him he wasn't going anywhere. She said that the garage needed cleaning since August, and that she'd be danged if he was coming with us." "I blew the horn at him when I drove by," Dick said. He had a lamp under his arm. They all chuckled. "He'll wish he'd have stood up to her in the morning," Bubba said. "We're going to get 1,000 ducks." "You better be careful," Kevin said as he smiled and looked toward the woods. "You wouldn't want Jerry to hear you say that." They all nodded. They certainly did not want Jerry to hear anything about 1,000 ducks, 100 ducks, or even one measly duck over the limit. Jerry was the game warden. Jerry Anderson and his wife, Katrina, live on Randall Road right behind Dick and his family. They go to Grace Fellowship Baptist Church, where Jerry teaches Sunday school and Katrina sings in the choir. Jerry is active in civic affairs, and he is Jeff's best friend 11 months out of the year. During hunting season, Jerry has a reputation as a tough customer. "You wouldn't even know he's my friend at all," Jeff told the guys. "The man takes his job seriously. He'd give me a ticket in a heartbeat." "I am a conservation officer," Jerry would say. "I am paid to protect the laws of our state as they apply to game and fish, and I'm going to do it. If my own mother shot a duck out of season, I'd write her a ticket." The whole town agreed that, yeah, he would. Jerry is a full-blooded Choctaw Indian, and he knows that gives him an advantage in the woods. Not that he is quieter or has a better sense of direction than the next guy. It's just that he is the only Native American that most people in Sawyerton Springs have ever met. So everyone thinks that his skills are on a different level. And he doesn't do anything to discourage their thinking. Occasionally, when he's in the woods with a friend, Jerry will feel the ground and say something like, "Deer, 2, came through about an hour ago. The big one is a buck and has a nice rack." Then he'll just walk on as if he could tell you what they ate for breakfast. Because of Jerry's devotion to his career, people are a little nervous around him during hunting season. It's not that they're intending to break the law. It's just that he watches so closely. Inside the cabin over supper that night, Jerry was still the topic of conversation. "I know a guy one time," Bubba said, "that swore Jerry came up out of the ground to get him. Swore he just appeared." "It's the Indian in him," Dick said. "Tonto was like that." Kevin looked puzzled. "Who?" he asked. "Tonto," Dick said. "You know Tonto, the Lone Ranger's friend." Jeff spoke up. "You know, the Lone Ranger killed Tonto." "I didn't know that," Bubba said. "Why'd he do it?" Jeff smirked. He finally found out what Kemosabe meant. Just then, Billy Pat walked through the door. "Well, well," Kevin said. "We didn't think we were going to see you this week." "You had nothing to worry about," Billy Pat said as he sat down at the table. "I told Jenny I was coming, and that was that. Jenny," I said, "I'm running the show around here. And if I want to go hunting with the guys, then I'm going hunting with the guys, and there's nothing you or anybody else can do about it. Goodbye, baby," I said. And here I am. Kevin, Bubba, Dick, and Jeff looked at Billy Pat for a long moment. Kevin spoke. "You finished the garage, right?" Billy Pat nodded. "And the basement," he said. The week went by fast, and the hunting was terrific. They never saw Jerry, but they were fairly certain that he was around. One reason they had gotten nervous about Jerry's presence over the years was the law about legal shooting light. Legal shooting time actually began well after daybreak, a law most hunters in the area had decided was unfair. The ducks had already landed by the time anyone could legally shoot. Therefore, a man who wouldn't dream of shooting over the limit would often, without guilt, start shooting as soon as he could see. This was accepted behavior for the inhabitants of the last resort. They felt that an unfair law didn't really apply in their situation. Jerry, on the other hand, felt that it did. "I'm going to get those jokers," Jerry told Katrina as they went to bed that night. "I hear 'em shooting early every day, but by the time I can locate and sneak up on 'em, it's legal to shoot. I've got to actually catch 'em in the act." At 2 a.m., Jerry sat up in bed. "I've got it. I'll beat 'em to the punch. See you later, honey. he said as he crawled out of bed. Jerry planned to hide outside the cabin, waiting for the guys to wake up. Then, as they left to hunt, he would simply follow them to their duck blind and ticket them when they started shooting. Slipping into position about 50 feet from the cabin door, Jerry shivered. It was almost 3 o'clock and pitch black dark. He had a while to wait before they woke up. As he sat there, hunkered down in some blackberry briars, it began to rain. It was just a drizzle, but soon Jerry was miserably soaked. His only consolation was the glory of his mission. He tried to imagine what it would be like when he revealed himself to the lawbreakers. "Smile, I'll say," Jerry thought. "You're on candid camera." No, that's too much of a cliche. That show's been off there for 30 years. I could sneak right up behind him and blow on a duck call as loud as I can. But no, he decided they'd probably turn around and shoot me. After exploring options for about an hour, Jerry determined that the best method of surprising the guys would be to crawl beside the blind and just stand up. Jerry chuckled to himself. Whenever he did that, people looked at him as if he had come out of the ground. At exactly 3:50 a.m., lights came on in the cabin, and Jerry was alert. He could hear Kevin singing "Onward Christian Soldiers" at the top of his lungs. Pots and pans began to rattle as Bubba started the bacon and grits. Jeff stood on the front porch and smoked a cigarette. Turning to go inside, Jeff flicked his cigarette butt in Jerry's direction. "I ought to stand up now," Jerry thought. "I could get him for littering." At that very moment, Kevin came to the door. He leaned outside and yelled, "Hey, Jerry! Man, don't sit out there in the rain. Come on in and have some breakfast." Jerry's mouth dropped open. "Unbelievable," he mumbled as he stiffly rose out of the briars. Walking toward the cabin, he was almost in shock. Kevin shoved a chair toward him as he went inside. Bubba handed him a plate. Dick and Billy Pat sat on the other side of the table from Jerry. Neither could stop grinning. Jeff slapped Jerry on the back and laughed out loud. "How?" Jerry asked. "How could you have possibly known I was out there?" "Should we tell him?" Kevin directed his question to the other men in the room. They nodded. "Jerry," Kevin said, smiling, "we actually had no idea you were waiting for us. But in a way, I guess you could say we've been waiting for you. We've been calling you to breakfast for the past 13 years. So, ducking the game warden. All right, and we're out of time. You guys have a safe weekend. We'll see you next week. Don't forget, if you haven't seen the podcast this week yet with Dr. Grant Woods, you definitely need to see that. People are loving that and loving hearing about the Buffalo system. It's very, very cool. And next week on the podcast, we have Mark Lowry and Buddy Green at the same time discussing all things Mary Did You Know. These are the guys who wrote Mary Did You Know. Mark wrote the words, Buddy wrote the music, and you're going to hear all about how it happened, what's happened since, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Thank you, guys. Have a good weekend. We'll see you soon.